That's right, you're watching Insights from Africa, and we continue to check out the consumer environment. Ahead of the break, we delved into spending habits, and now we take a look at how retailers are positioning themselves to seize that spend. And I'm joined now by Catherine Madley, the executive for brand marketing and digital at Pick n Pay. Catherine, thank you so much for joining us here on the show. This is a period of high spend now during December and January. Are you still finding, though, that essentials like groceries are a top priority for consumers, or are they looking to spend elsewhere?
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. Yes, groceries are exactly a very high priority in the market for consumers for a couple of reasons. The first reason is a lot of South Africans move around the country during this time. So they go home or they go on holiday, they go to the beach, they go to the mountain, and they move around the country, and they normally do that with an extended family. And with an extended family, it means more food is needed. So people do look to stock up, and that starts in the Black Friday period in November, and it runs through until January. So you'll find customers buying, 3 of something or 2 of something. Hence, you'll see many of those kinds of deals. And you'll also find customers buying larger pack sizes of, food items. Pack sizes in meat, pack sizes in bakery, and in your rices and your maizes and your commodities in food. This, of course, spills over into the Christmas period of our much-loved luxury items that we all love at this time of the year. Your choice assorted biscuits, your quality streets, and all those good things, selection boxes for the kids, and advent calendars, and then going up into more and more luxury items in snacks and treats, not to mention all the Christmas things that you buy in terms of trees, decorations, toys and appliances at this most wonderful time of the year, Bronwyn.
We look at this time of year, and everything that you say really makes sense. We buy a lot more food, and every now and again we try and treat ourselves, and groceries really being a key category that we've seen gain over the years, particularly during constrained economic times, like you highlight there, that bulk buying that we see coming through. But when we look at some of the other categories, what else is gaining traction? I know there's a lot of hope that from a growth perspective, we're going to see better growth come through for the country next year. So are we seeing any categories starting to pick up, or perhaps a category that's most surprised you in terms of growth that you're seeing there?
Yeah, so people really like to make Christmas Day special, Bronwyn, regardless of where, which LSM section they sit, or regardless of even their religious beliefs. That time between Christmas and New Year is a very, very special time for South Africa. This country goes into a much slower pace. A lot of people go away. A lot of companies close down, and a lot of people that are formally employed, if they are lucky enough, they do get a 13th check or a bonus. It's the culture and the nature of South Africans to do that. Where does that go to? It goes to 3 things. It goes to A, travel and holiday. B, it does get thought about and put aside for school fees and a bit of back to school for the forward thinkers. And then people really like to spoil their kids and family and have a wonderful time over the festive period. And every single retailer, the top 6 that do concentrate on food and groceries like we do in Pick n Pay, think about each of those customers in their various cultural formats and how we can deliver for them in what they like to do over that special period from Christmas into New Year. And there is a bit of a frenzy, if you want to call it that, to make sure that that Christmas feast is all planned and sorted for that person, for that family, and for that extended family. It also happens to be summer in South Africa, and that plays a major role in the decision making. There is a lot of extra cold drinks required, waters required, and we do like to enjoy some alcohol at this time of the year. So all of those consideration sets are put into place. We do also like to have our tables and our homes decked out, and there is typically an extended family, that gathers at this time of the year, and there is a lot of discussion and thinking and work around everything that you can think around Christmas outside and Christmas inside, and family gatherings across that period that we put a lot of consideration into. And at Pick n Pay, we've gone very deep on produce, on butchery and bakery. I mean, we make our Christmas cakes 14 months in advance. We start soaking those cherries in brandy, Bronwyn, and we are very proud of our mince pies and our gingerbread men and all of those good things that we love to have over this time of the year.
Catherine, given all of this that you've outlined for us, when you approach this high spend season, how much of it is then an exercise in moving volume, and how much does it then come down to actually clawing market share? Because if you can get someone through the door and keep them in the months to come, that's obviously a much bigger win for you, right?
No, absolutely. So customers in our business will start to see a much higher quality of products because Pick n Pay has spent an enormous amount of effort in overhauling its product over the last 18 months. Since Sean Summers returned to Pick n Pay and Dallas Langman started to look after South Africa, there's been a massive concentration on product, and we give the best for less. That's where we're concentrating on. Some of these luxury items, Bronwyn, as you know, are becoming really expensive, and while we all would love to have the biggest turkey and the nicest gammon and a lovely chicken pie and cheeses and things like that, we've thought about getting the best quality for less to the customers. So we re-invite customers to come to our stores and see our ranges that we have, which is a very different Christmas at Pick n Pay from the Christmas that we had in the prior years. So we've done a lot of work on that. It's about focusing on products and the customer, and we also know many customers don't like to come to crowded stores. They prefer to sit on the beach or sit on the stoep or sit in front of the TV, and then they can just tap ASAP. So we've got that going for them. That is also very big, Bronwyn. A lot of people are ordering Christmas presents and food online, and they've become used to doing that and having it delivered on the back of a bike at their homes, at their holiday homes, and all around the country. So retailers and we are very geared for that, and making sure that delivery is less than 60 minutes, because there's a lot of people that have switched over to that, and the same with liquor, Bronwyn.
Catherine, thanks so much for your time. Catherine Madley is the Executive for Brand Marketing and Digital at Pick n Pay, and highlighting there that convenience is king for consumers. And no one knows that better than ShopRite, as it's managed to capitalize on its 60/60 delivery service for a number of years now. And to discuss that, I'm joined by Neil Schroeder, Chief Strategy and Innovation Officer at ShopRite. Neil, thanks for joining us. So when it comes to high spend periods like Black Friday, for example, does 60/60 give you an edge at all?
Yeah, hi, Baron. I'd like to think it does. We were actually the first retailer to bring Black Friday to South Africa. Checkers was the first national chain to do it in 2014. I had to go back and look at my notes. It was 11 years ago. And back then, no one else was doing it. We had to do a bit of education to the consumer about what it's about. And you fast forward 11 years and we've gone 10x that revenue we did on that first day. We have an online channel called 60/60, and it's outgrowing the stores and obviously shopping malls. So we'd like to think that we're capturing the lion's share of the market online for grocery and liquor, and obviously it's outgrowing the rest of the market by quite some magnitude.
So you showed there how it's really giving you this edge, but how do you remain competitive in that delivery space? Because some retailers are starting to catch up. They're also offering delivery in 60 minutes. And so if consumers are spoiled for choice, how do you ensure then that they're still choosing you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, competition is good for consumers. I often say there's never been a better time to be alive for consumers than today. More and more work is done for consumers, picking and delivery, and all at in-store pricing. So it's pretty good to be in South Africa today with a grocery retail offering like we have. What we do as a business, obviously, we've expanded the ranges tremendously. We used to have, when we started 500 products, convenience, top-up type shopping. Today on the platform, you get 50,000 different products from apples to Apple AirPods or iPhones. And all of that comes for free if you're on the subscription plan. The key, I think, here is everybody can offer the service on a box. But, if you look at Black Friday, which was 2 weeks ago, we had a record week, a record day on Black Friday, and we delivered over 7.5 million products. But crucially, we did it with 95.5% of those deliveries within the 60-minute promise. In fact, our average delivery time now is only 33 minutes. So it's easy to do in small volumes, quite tough to do at big scale.
How do you then evolve the model? If you're winning on delivery times and making sure that, you're getting products to consumers in a good window, does it then come down to how you evolve the model? Because my next question is a little bit off the wall, but we do see it happening. Does it mean delivery by drones is coming to us?
We've actually tested drones. I don't think for some time in South Africa that's going to be a thing. We do have we have enough speed as it is. I think we don't need the drone delivery. There's some issues with aviation approval as well. But I think the future of retail is really doing more work for customers. So you think about a lot of the themes around agentic AI. As a retailer, you need to deploy AI so that the customer does less searching. If you know what he's looking for, it should automatically populate the basket and come. So that's really where we focus our initiatives. And then obviously our ambition is to be the everyday store, not the everything store. And we want to be able to sell every home's needs and deliver it same day anywhere in the country on the back of the big supply chain and store network of the ShopRite Group. So we have an economy of scale advantage that few can touch. And we'd like to think we remain, best value and fastest delivery across the country.
Absolutely. On that note, let's leave it there. Neil, thanks so much for joining us today. Neil Schroeder is the Chief Strategy and Innovation Officer at ShopRite. And while traditional bricks and mortar retailers find ways to innovate for consumers, online shopping is gathering pace, with sales topping 96 billion rand in 2024. And that accounted for 8% of total retail sales. And that figure is only set to grow. So to find out the trends in that space and unpack why online is growing in popularity, I caught up with Robert Kuhn, Managing Director for Sub-Saharan Africa at Amazon, for more detail. So let's take a look.
I mean, first off, we're very excited by the traction that we're seeing in the store. Exceeded all our forecasts, exceeded our expectations, and the feedback from the customers has been very positive. Clearly value great prices, they value great delivery. But I think to your question about how it's different, I think what we're seeing is a shift for South African shoppers where traditionally may have looked to online only for those really high ticket items, the high ticket beauty products or the very, very high ticket electronics. What we're seeing is South Africans are picking up on that convenience of, hey, I need a tube of toothpaste. Let me order the toothpaste. I need firelighters, I need some charcoal, I need whatever it is. And so we've really been excited about the uptake of across the board, all categories, but also just those everyday essentials of customers getting into that repeat purchase because they love the convenience and the great prices.
Well, that all coming to a head really when you have these large shopping events like Black Friday, Tech Monday, even festive season shopping and back to school as well. And so that must really increase the competitiveness that's out there for online retailers. And so it begs the question, how do you make sure that you stay competitive in this environment? Because like you pointed out, it's becoming about convenience. And if everyone's getting convenience right and everyone can get you your firelighters within a couple of hours or, by tomorrow, so to speak. How do you manage to stay ahead in the online retail space?
Yeah, I think first off, I think it's great for South African shoppers because they're getting great value. But we look at it a little bit differently at Amazon. We focus on the three sort of key pillars that we focus on. One is making sure that there is the selection that South Africans want the most. So making sure we're listening very carefully about what products do you really want to buy in the store. Second is giving the best pricing. And certainly all indications is that we're leading in that space. And then third is making sure that the experience is a good one. And that experience it's not just about getting it there fast, but it's making sure that we get it there reliably as well. And I think that's where we're really differentiated in the fact that, I don't know if you've ordered recently, but you see the countdown of order in the next 19 minutes, 30 seconds, and we'll get it to you before 8 o'clock today. And so it's that kind of reliability and doing what we say we're going to do. Customers love that, and it's really earned a lot of trust with our customers.
I have ordered recently, I must say, and it is that convenience factor, but there comes down to many South Africans as well, a cost factor and being sensitive to delivery costs, etc. How do you manage to keep that under control?
Well, I think that's been the exciting thing for many of our customers is at the moment we are offering free delivery on anything. You can order a tube of toothpaste or just a pack of firelighters, and no matter where you live across the entire South Africa, we'll deliver it to you free of charge. And so, it's great value, great feedback. The other piece is that if you wanted same day, 2 Rand for same day delivery in the major centers, Pretoria, Joburg, Cape Town, and Durban. And, again, you can't beat that value.
So where do you go from here in order to capture more spend? I know there's all sorts of rumblings in the online space about drone deliveries and, people just really trying to put themselves ahead and give them something, to carve out a section of the market and put themselves ahead. So for Amazon, what's next for consumers really?
It's really about delivering. We focus on our shoppers and listening very, very carefully. I spend an inordinate amount of time in our contact centers, listening to the associates, what are customers saying, really trying to make sure that we're addressing anything that may be causing a customer to call in. And so really focusing on the customer, making sure that we can deliver reliably, earn the trust. But I think the key piece is you're seeing the very best value from Amazon. We do have the best value for money, and we're unbeaten on that.
Well, we've come to the end of this episode, and if you're doing some online shopping this month, why not open a tab and head over to the Business Day TV YouTube page, and under the Insights from Africa tab, you can rewatch any of our shows. You can also open new browsers and find us on X, TikTok, and LinkedIn, so you can keep up to date with what's coming up on the show. So I'll let you get on with that and see you on the next episode of Insights from Africa. From me, Bronwyn Seaborn, and the rest of the team, it's goodbye for now.
Insights from Africa is brought to you in partnership with Standard Bank.